Hello friend, this is Ryan Hicks of TalkToProfit.com, and today I want to talk to you about the way you look at the world is going to affect the results you get in this life. Many people being informed by the news and social media, which a lot of people on social media are being informed by the news, they get a lot of scarcity mentality, a lot of lack and limitation being programmed into them, and they have very little to no belief in abundance, in opulence, in luxury, and overflowing increase of God's abundance in this life. Consequently, they have a worldview that views the world as limited, that there is lack and limitation. There's not enough. There's a scarcity. Don't you hear about this over here and that over there? There's not enough in this world, which is not true. Now, there may not be enough of some certain thing, but there's enough food, there's enough wealth, there's enough housing, there's enough everything that you could possibly need in this life available to you freely, but you have to believe for it. Jesus said that according to your faith be it unto you. He said that as you have believed, so it is done unto you. My friend, when you believe what the world is putting out there, what people on social media are putting out there, there's not enough. There's a limitation. These people over here can't do enough for themselves. You got to help them. These things sound good, like, oh, you're trying to help somebody, but really it's acting like those people are helpless. And yes, you should come alongside people and help them, but not from a place of lack and limitation. Not from a place they can't do it on their own. Not from a place that they don't have enough. There's some scarcity over there, but over here we have an abundance. Anywhere you go, if you will believe and have the right mentality, the right vibrational state, believing for the good, knowing the good, expecting the good, you will then experience the good. You could be in the middle of a desert and it will get that proverbial downpour that deserts get every now and then, once or twice a year. If you want water, because you are believing for it and you believed and received. If you allow the world to lead you and to tell you that there's not enough, to get you into doubt and unbelief, questioning the goodness of God, questioning His abundance, questioning whether there's enough, or whether He even cares that you have enough. Of course He does, my friend. But the scripture is very clear. If you're one of these people who's double-minded, you believe a little bit, there might be some, God might bless, but, there's not enough. A double-minded man is unstable in all their ways. It says, let not that man think he shall receive anything of the Lord. So maybe if you look around at your life, you don't see an abundance. You don't see your prayers even being answered. Maybe you need to step back and realize, wait, maybe I've been double-minded. And I can't be foolish enough to think I'm going to receive anything of the Lord because I'm double-minded. Now, what you need to do, if you've been listening to the world, they've been telling you all this nonsense about scarcity and lack and this and that, you need to reinforce your mind about the goodness of God, about the abundance of God. Listen to testimonies of God's goodness. Listen to testimonies of people telling you about how they got their prayers answered, how an abundance came in, how their business is succeeding, how they got good health, how their relationship is good. Whatever it may be, find people talking good things about that issue and get your faith built up for that good thing. God's not withholding any good thing from you. The scripture makes that very clear. He doesn't withhold any good thing from them that love Him. Nothing. And His benefits are many. So we should never go a day in our lives where we are thinking scarcity, we're thinking lack, we're thinking limitation. Those things don't exist to a believer. Because you know the one who created all things. You know the one who's greater than all. He's above all, but through all. He's in you, my friend. And you, as that person of character, as that person of substance, believes in full faith for the thing that you want. You don't doubt. You don't get into wavering. You certainly don't listen to the world and all their negativity. And that goes for a lot of professing Christians too. You don't listen to them either, because most of them are just repeating what the world says. You get in the company and listen and read from people who are telling you good things about God, good things about this life, good things about the abundance and overflow and increase of God that is freely available to you. Now you can do what most people do. They kind of straddle the line between the world and the church, between the world and God. They're getting all this carnality telling them about how there's scarcity, there's lack, there's limitation. And they get a few little tiny tidbits of goodness. Sometimes, even in the church though, there'll be people telling you, well, you know, it's probably not enough. Well, we're going to go into recession. For who? The world can have all the recessions at once. How does that affect you? My friend, you can rise above that. You can create your own personal economy where it doesn't matter what the world's going through. It doesn't affect you. You know, I look at life, and one of the things that during the pandemic and lockdowns and all this stuff, and people were talking about how awful it was and all this money was going away and we just don't have this and we just can't do this. And yet all the people I knew who were built up in their faith, who were bold in their faith, were having some of the best times ever. They weren't happy about people suffering or any kind of thing like that. But their economy, their personal economy, was doing better. And not because of some trivial money the government was throwing out, because every area of their life was improving, because pandemic or no pandemic, they were constantly improving themselves. And they never backed off their faith. They never got into doubt and unbelief. They never started wavering. They never started talking up the problems of the world. They never started talking the negativity of the world. They didn't give it a second thought. They just kept moving forward in the grace of God, knowing God's goodness, knowing His abundance, knowing the infinite abundance of God in their lives, and that's what they received. So my friend, I don't care what the world's saying. I don't care what social media is saying. I don't care what your pastor says. I don't care what some preacher says. I don't care what anyone says who is saying negative things about what's going to happen in the future. That does not apply to you unless you choose to believe it. And if you choose to believe it, you've become double-minded, you've wavered away from the goodness of God, and you got into the cares of the world, and you are going to have a bad time of it. But my friend, you don't have to. Stand up boldly in your faith. Decree your own personal economy. Forget the world. They can do whatever they want. They can believe all the negativity they want. They can have their priest of the news media babbling negativity to them all day long. That has nothing to do with you. You don't believe it. You don't speak it. You don't think it. You just continue to move forward in the grace of God and watch as your life gets better and better each and every day. My friend, I pray this is a blessing for you. May God bless you richly.